Yeah.
Hi, hi, everybody. It's Movie the Podcast, and it's the real buddies. We're without Gogs. Gogs, I'm going to guess the tone of the room. I think Gogs dodged a bullet this time, just like our titular hero, Axel Foley, the Beverly Hills Cop. That's right, folks. We watched Beverly Hills Cop 3. George Lucas probably had to get his SAG card to be in this movie.
You remember when we watched Man on the Moon? Yeah, and the whole soundtrack for Man on the Moon, it said like score made by
R.E.M.
Yeah. It was just a song like slowed down and sped up. Talk about doing that, but
oh my God,
like
I'm
8 keyboard notes.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. It was honestly, like, I'm just gonna go on a front street. I hated this movie, but like that part was like just hilarious because like, they had like
people were getting like killed. It's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah. they had like the inquisitive dun, 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 dun. Then they had the like faster normal one, then the slower sad one. It was fucking hilarious, and it was in like every scene. It was like all right.
It's like the fucking, the one-hit wonder when they put out their greatest hits and it has like 8 reprises of the same song, but it's
it's my favorite old Cracked article. Like, fucking Bruce Willis had 3 greatest hits albums.
Holy shit.
What? How do you have, like, how did he have that much material to, go from? But, yeah, he had 3 greatest hits albums.
I told this story, but, like, I was at a Walmart I guess around Christmas time here. And somebody knew the first, 6 notes of Axel F, but not the other 2. And there was a keyboard set up in Walmart. It was like fucking loud. So you hear,
is that what the title of that song is?
It's called Axel F. But it went on for 45. I was in I just had to stop. I was like howling in this fucking Walmart because they just would not give up.
I mean, I gotta say that, that song though is pretty sick. Like that's a great synth line, one of the all-time best.
Yeah, it was great in 1988, but not so much in 1994, which you could have told me this movie came out in 1987 or whatever, but that makes sense.
Also, it's one of the Family Guy bits that I always remember when Peter Griffin's like, that's probably stitch that in. But anyway, let's get into we'll get into Beverly Hills Cop 3 momentarily. First off, let's do what we do when we do. What did y'all watch?
I want to start a new segment.
Please.
Oh fuck.
It's just going to be cleaning up or call like old business or something. From when I listen to the podcast that I'm like, oh, I meant to say this. Or,
no, I like that. I always,
the corrections.
There is shit I always think about after we stop recording.
Yeah, so that movie that we talked about last week briefly with the Tom Hardy and Chris Pine and their spies fighting over war.
Yeah.
Either this is war or this means war.
Yeah.
That's the name of it.
And it's got
Reese America's sweetheart, Mac tonight.
Reese Witherspoon. And then the other thing, I forgot to mention, I don't know how I forgot to mention it. At the end of the Transformers movie, there's a stinger where one of the humans, he gets a job interview out of this whole thing. Somehow the military sets him up with a job interview. And he goes in and they're like, we like your blah, 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 your skills. And it turns out he was like an ex-Army Ranger or something. And he's interviewing for fucking G.I. Joe.
Oh my God.
No.
This card that says G.I. Joe on it.
Oh my God. They're bringing that back, huh?
I'll reserve judgment because that last G.I. Joe movie rules.
Yes, the second G.I. Joe movie was fucking awesome, but I doubt, I don't know, my excitement would be pretty low for another one. But I mean, G.I. Joe cross Transformers could be interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I doubt it in the movies because, like, all we've said about all these movies is why do we need humans and robots?
The humans are the worst parts. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least in G.I. Joe, the humans are goofy. Like, what this guy's army job is just the biathlon. Like, that's fucking nuts.
I always loved, like, I've said this 1,000 times, but even as a kid, I thought it was hilarious that, like, they're an army, but they don't have a uniform. They all, like, this guy's a sailor, this guy's wearing a football jersey, like.
Oh, it's like when they have the All-Star games, but everybody wears their own jerseys. Like, that shit sucks. Like,
yeah.
There's a great episode of Community.
Yeah.
Where they do the characters, they animate it like G.I. Joe, and all the characters are in as G.I. Joe, and they have their guns. But they're actually hitting the Cobra people and killing them. And all the Cobra guys, the Cobra Commander, are like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
That's
like massacring people like wholesale.
If they do G.I. Joe, the movie again, they should do the second generation G.I. Joe where it was like really, really stupid, like where Cobra Commander
and all that.
Well, no, past that, where it'd be like Destro and Cobra Commander and like Alcatraz like cooking and shit. Like they're real weird. Like when you had that
Cobra Commander turned into like an actual snake.
Didn't he turn into a snake?
Oh, that movie fucked me up. The Cobra Law shit.
Yeah.
I don't. Wasn't he, or no? He was like a snake man that got cursed and turned. I don't remember, but it was fucking weird.
Yeah, well, that was when Sorpentor turned into the bad guy, and he like usurped Cobra Commander. If I remember.
No, I
correctly.
thought it was. What didn't they have it was like Nemesis Enforcer and the guy with the fucking worm tail. That the action figure was like a foot long. You remember?
Oh,
that 3-pack.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway.
Shout out to Cobra Law.
Anything else that anybody wants to bring up from last week's episode?
No,
good idea, Alec. I like it. It's a good idea.
All right, then. Every week when I listen when I'm driving, and I'm like, I hear things, and I'm like, oh, I got to text them because I just remembered this about that. And then by the time I get home, I forget.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough going off the cuff. You know, I watch a lot of like clips on YouTube and shit, and I'm always a little irritated because, like, you know, people, most of the YouTube content that I consume is clearly like scripted, and I'm always like, I could never do that. I feel like it would. I probably could, but like, I don't know. There's something you lose about not being like live, so to speak. You know,
well, I guess
just
like
my opinion.
If it's like an essay or whatever, like I wouldn't have the heart to fucking edit it. You know what I mean? Like it's just I'm reading it once and that's it. I don't care how many times I fuck up.
Yeah. Anyway,
take Sean.
That's it.
What did you all watch this week, Sean?
I watched 2 TVs.
Hell yeah.
I watched the last season of Stranger Things. It's fine. Like there are parts where it kind of wanders into being scanners for a few episodes, and that's really cool because I like that 70s psychic battle shit.
This is the last season that just came out, like last year, I think. Is that what
it's whatever the most recent season is. Yeah, I don't know.
People were telling me that was like had like Hellraiser vibes. Is that accurate at all?
Kinda, but it also like suffers from having like really generic villain makeup when the villain didn't really need the makeup to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a lot of
where you hear Kate Bush song a million times.
No. I think that's for It's fucking like. And I didn't realize that that's what it was from, I guess, at first. Because remember when that song got really big, I guess, whenever that came out.
Yeah, that was.
And I was like, I pretended to like Kate Bush to get pussy, like, in the 2000s. I ain't doing it again. Like, I don't care what the deal is, like.
No.
But, it's fine. And then I watched the first season of Ted Lasso.
Really?
On Apple.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, watching with the old lady, like, I'm not, that's not just a solo venture.
Yeah.
It's good. It's like, I don't know if this is going to translate well, but it kind of smacks of respectability politics a little bit. Like, the guy constantly goes high, and like some of it's really funny. Like there's a bit, Alec, you've seen that show, right? Didn't you watch it?
Oh yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite shows.
There's a bit where they're talking about this tabloid, and the owner's talking to Jason Sudeikis. And it's like, well, I spoke to the owner of the Sun. He's like, you talk to God? Like, I don't know why that tickled me so much.
That's pretty funny.
But but everybody's like good in it. Like it's a very well written show, but I don't know. Like it feels like it was a show written by Pod Save America, kind of. I don't know. Like it's got a vibe that I can't put my finger on, but
it's very positive. It's brimming with positivity.
Yeah. And because I'm just such a piece of shit.
Yeah, same.
I don't operate that way. I don't think it's the show's fault.
No, it's not. It's my fault and your fault.
You're right.
I'm just such a negative person that I can't deal with the positivity.
It's like fucking, I'm waiting the whole time for him to just, like, you find out that he's a total sociopath or something and he isn't even really like who he says he is or some shit.
No. Yeah,
it's like, this is going to be well, since we all know him, I guess this is fair. Like, it's like when you talk to or have been around Nate and he's like so nice about everything, like it makes me feel worse about myself and then I get pissed at him.
Yeah, absolutely. That guy's too great. It's like there's got to be something
for you
wrong.
to make me feel.
Yeah, what is your problem, dude? Can you not like somebody, please, so I don't feel like I'm an asshole?
Yeah,
but
I mean, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy for being so great. Fucking dickhead.
Like, don't be nice and handsome. Like, pick one or the other.
I can't deal with it. It's like a long time ago when I saw Dillinger Escape Plan. And the fucking
the Mike Patton version or the
no.
Okay.
I unfortunately I never got to see that one, but no, it's Greg, whatever his fucking last name is. The first time I ever saw him play with him, and he's like jacked and handsome and the lead singer of a band, and it's like you can't have all three, man. You're taking all like you can't be good looking, jacked, and the lead and like a rock star. It's not fair.
It's the Jason Momoa problem, right? Like, it's like, don't be hot and fun and funny and play the guitar and surf, like, bro.
Yeah. And seem like a genuinely like good person. Like
I don't like that shit.
He seems like a really nice guy. It's like, God damn it.
Like he's always having fun. I remember they were interviewing him. It's like, Jason, you're gonna be Aquaman. Can you swim? He's like, I'm Hawaiian, bro. And then him will like to rip him and then walk out of the interview.
And he's hanging out with like fucking Les Claypool and shit, playing bass and guitar. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, I don't need that shit. Yeah, fuck that.
It was a good show, but I can't watch that anymore without thinking about Sudeikis serving his old lady divorce papers to like what she's doing the press junket for that terrible movie she directed.
Yeah, it's disappointing that he might not be like the greatest person in real life because I really like him and almost everything he's in. I like him a lot.
I don't know what their whole situation was, but like I think we've all seen Colossal, right?
He's so good in Colossal. God, that's a good movie.
Yeah, but then it was like, oh, maybe that's why he's so good in that movie.
That's a great movie. I actually just recommended that to somebody the other day.
Yeah, our buddy Brandon, he was like, I've never seen this movie, but everybody says, or it's got great scores, like, 'cause the movie fucking rules. Like,
yeah, it's definitely it's overlooked for sure, but it's a great movie.
Yeah. So
anything else?
No, I'm gonna pass the mic to TJ.
You said me? You were kind of muffled there.
Alec always goes first, so.
That's fair. I watched one movie and one TV. I watched a movie called Nothing Bad Can Happen. And spoiler alerts, like nothing but bad things happen. Okay. I didn't really care for it, to be honest. It's like a 6 or 7.
Where nothing can possibly go wrong.
Well, it's got an interesting premise. Yeah, that's the first thing to go. Possible. Did I tell you guys that nothing could possibly go wrong is a reference to the tagline of Westworld?
No, but that makes total sense because
that's fucking insane. Yeah, no, I saw like an original one sheet for Westworld, and it's the Yul Brynner one that we watched on film. And it said where nothing can possibly go wrong, and I'm like, what? That's so fucking crazy. Like the Simpsons are really just pulling like. And that's like way early Simpsons. That's like pre-DVD Simpsons.
Well, I guess that makes sense because it's like Crichton. He wrote Westworld, right? And then he wrote Jurassic Park. So
the fact that they could pull that, you know what I mean, seems crazy. Anyway,
speaking of things possibly going wrong, that last season of Westworld was bad. That show fell off a fucking cliff.
I mean, honestly, season 2 really wasn't that good either.
Yeah.
And it was awful. It sucks because I love season 1. Like, season 1 is the shit. But, anyway, so Nothing Bad Can Happen is it's a German film. It's about this guy who is this kid, really. I don't know if they ever explicitly state his age, but he can't be more than like 17 or 18 years old. But he is he's like a hardcore Christian. Like he's in like this kind of like punk, like Christian hardcore kind of scene. Yeah. And so the movie basically, he is like purist, like the whole time, at least for the first like half hour, you're like, okay, like, is this just a facade? You know what I mean? Like, is he just doing this for whatever reason? And the movie goes out of its way to say, no, he is like a true believer. Like he really is. So he gets alienated from his like punk rock Christian group because basically they aren't like as true believers as he is. Like his roommate has sex with a girl and he gets upset about it. And like he has bouts of like, or I guess that's the right way to say it. Like he has frequent bouts with having seizures. Mm-hmm. And so like there's a scene in the movie towards the beginning where they basically him and his punk rock buddies run into this guy that can't get his car started. And then they pray around the car and then the car gets started. So later on in the movie, he is at this like Christian punk rock show, and he has one of his seizures, but nobody helps him. But this guy who was there that he helped start his car was there, and that guy takes him and like basically was going to take him to the hospital, but he comes out of his like seizure and he's okay. And then he ends up living with his family, and there's something wrong with his family. You can tell like right away, like the dad is like weirdly aggressive. The kids are acting weird. And the rest of the movie is basically just this kid getting fucking tortured the whole movie because the family's a piece of shit. Like the dad is molesting the daughter and like implied that he beats the son and like, and then you find out that like the mother is also a piece of shit. But the whole movie is just them like torturing this kid more or less and like trying his faith. And I don't know, it's just kind of one note. Like, it's well shot. Like, I enjoyed how the movie was shot. Like, it's very kind of like, it reminds me like almost like a Dogma 95 kind of feel. Like, it's very like natural light, almost like kind of 8mm kind of vibes. Like, it almost looks like a home movie at times, but it's like well lit, well shot. It feels like
8mm, the film stock, not 8mm, the Nicolas Cage movie.
No. I mean, like, kind of like a Super 8 kind of vibe. It looks really good. The acting is quite good throughout, but like the story is just kind of like once you establish like what's happening, it's just like, eh. And then the ending is kind of, eh.
Is there any like, magical realism in it?
No.
Is there like
I was kind of waiting for that. Like I was, especially at the end, like I was kind of waiting for that. And I don't know. It's like it's one of those movies where it's like I feel like it's really well made. It's just there's not much to it, and I find it kind of boring because it's like they just fucking shit on this kid for like almost an hour, and then it's like over, and it's like, okay, there is one of the most disturbing scenes I've ever seen that I can remember in recent memory, where they make him eat like rotten food, which is like so disgusting. Like it's one of those things where visually, like it's not that grotesque, but like the idea of it is so disgusting to me.
Well, because you can identify with it, kinda. You know what I mean? Everybody's eating food that's gone bad.
It's fucking disgusting, and like they sit there and make him eat like this whole chicken that's like rotted, and it's like, oh my god. And like there is like one, like I'm spoiler alert, so I don't think anybody's gonna watch this movie. It's on Shudder if you want to, but there is like a good scene that is kind of like the point of the movie, but again, it comes too late, and it just where like, you know, they're literally like this kid is like dying at the end of the movie and basically getting just dropped off in a ditch. And like the dad that basically didn't murder him, but basically instigated his murder is like, where's your God now? And he like points at his chest and he's like, he's in here. And I was like, that's like a really good scene. But like, if you cut out maybe half an hour and got there quicker, I think it would have been a little bit more powerful. So it's fine. I wouldn't recommend it. Again, it's really well done, but it's just the script is just not great. I also watched the second episode of the new season of Black Mirror, and it continues to disappoint. I don't even understand why this is a Black Mirror episode. The episode's called, like, Lock Henry, like L-O-C-H.
Is this a serial killer one?
How'd you know? Yeah.
I saw a YouTube essay about it. Even though I've never seen the show.
it sucks. Like, so like, Black Mirror is, I mean, I've watched every episode of Black Mirror. Black Mirror is basically Twilight Zone about technology. Like, every episode of Black Mirror is about some form of technology going awry. You know what I mean? Like, the old fucking Reddit joke is, what if cell phone but bad? But, I mean, that's kind of what it is. And this episode has nothing to do with technology. It's like a murder mystery. And, like, I mean, it's fine, I guess. But, like, ultimately, like, it's kind of predictable. And there's no twist. Like, it's like, once you kind of, like, I mean, there is a twist, but, like, you can see it a mile away, but, I mean, like, there's no, like, grander twist, like,
yeah,
I don't know, this is a simulation, or their PlayStation fucked them in the ass while they're asleep or something, like, God. I mean, we've all been there.
Well, but it's just one guy writing all of them, right? So maybe he's just out of gas.
I think so. And I'm not entirely, I don't know if Charlie Booker writes every episode. I know he writes a lot of them. Maybe he does write every episode. I don't know. I think I keep hearing that the first two episodes, are really bad. And I keep hearing that, like, most of the episodes are bad. So I don't know. I'll slog through the rest of them. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend that either. But that's all I watched still. Alex.
Real quick, Sean, you started watching Schitt's Creek a while back. Did you ever finish that?
No, I never got to it. We're watching Severance. That was really good, and I watched the first like season and a half of Schitt's Creek, and then I gotta watch Severance. I don't know what I ended up going, but I'm gonna get back to it at some point. I really did like the show.
Okay.
I just love Catherine O'Hara. It's Catherine O'Hara, right?
Yeah.
She's the fucking best.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
It's another show that's like really quotable too. Or it's just like, I don't know how to fold cheese, but like fold it in half, like, you know, just and the sign that keeps looking like people fucking, and it's like, that is his sister, and it's like, is he fucking his sister?
How does that make it any better?
But no, I like the show.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I watched two things. One is a new Netflix movie. It's just like a schmaltzy rom-com with Ellie Kemper called, what's it called? Finding Happiness for Beginners. She's a divorcee from a terrible husband and goes on like an adult hiking trip where you like meet up with people and go hiking, and she finds herself, and it's fine.
Yeah.
If you like that sort of thing, you'll probably like it. You guys, neither one of you do, so neither one of you would like it.
Not unless somebody gets murdered on the trip or something.
Or they spend the whole time contemplating how life is meaningless.
Somebody does grotesquely break their leg.
There you go.
You know what's crazy? Like,
Alex, did they lick the compound wound like in Freddy Guy's finger?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Proud.
No.
Proud. Where's your LeBaron Gord? That's a movie that doesn't get enough credit. You just made me think of this because, like, I know my girlfriend has done this, and I don't know if you know people who have done this. Those people that, like, when they move somewhere, they go to these adult things with, like, strangers. Like, hey, let's meet up for a running group or something. That seems psychotic. I don't think I could ever do that.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'd rather be alone.
Yes.
You know what? I actually have done something like that, so I guess I'm just as bad.
What, like
I got invited to I got invited to this like artist thing where it was like, oh, we're all gonna draw. I'm like, okay. And
yeah, but did somebody was somebody that you knew there?
Mm-mm. No, I met him.
Then never mind. Okay.
I met him like it was some event I was at, and they were like, oh, we do this thing like every Wednesday or whatever. I was like, all right, I'll check it.
How many times did you go?
Once. Yeah.
Did they tell you they're gonna write rock operas?
No, it wasn't those people. No, it wasn't any of those guys. It was fine.
Well, I'm the second in the polyamory. I'm the secondary, but I still have as many rights as the primary does.
Yeah.
Sure,
I kind of think we're in a throuple.
Sure you do.
Yeah. What's up?
I think we're in a thruple right now. I think that's what we should call these episodes, the thruple episodes.
we might as well come out at this point.
Yeah.
It is kind of bold that they made Cyclops, fucking Wolverine and Jean Grey like a legit thruple in the books. Like that's just
over.
wild.
That's over now. Yeah,
Dude.
they got that. They're done. And now Emma is gonna marry Tony Stark, which is wild. The X books are out of control, and I love it.
Her marrying Tony Stark seems like a fucking prelude to them just introducing X-Men into the fucking other media.
Well, it's a whole. Anyway, we'll talk about X-Men comics later.
Okay. That's what we should do whenever Gogs bails, is just do an X-Men comics show.
Talking about X-Men comics. I'll catch you up with all the X-Men lore of the last, 4 years. It's fucking insanely dense.
House of X is where I kind of left off.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry, Alec.
I read House of X, Powers of X.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then,
what's funny?
I went to buy the next book, and the next was like $170. I was like, yeah.
Holy shit.
So,
never mind.
That book, Powers of X, so I've been calling it.
That's the future one, right?
Yes, if my memory serves.
Yeah.
So that's actually the Powers of 10, which I had no idea. I've been saying X the entire time, and then I was watching Hickman get interviewed, and it's like the title, he kept saying the Powers of 10. I was like, oh, you motherfucker. Like,
no, this is a weapon plus situation.
No, it's House of X, Powers of 10, which is fucking stupid. But
well, I guess that makes sense, like, when you say it out loud.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a math thing.
Yeah. Well, that's because Hickman's a fucking nerd, but he's great.
Did you ever read that fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. book? I
think I've read everything that man's written. I love him. Like,
Alex, did you ever read the Hickman S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It's fucking awesome.
It's really fucking good.
Have you read it? It's Fantastic Four run. That thing was...
Yeah, you lent it to me. Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, I mean, I'm deep. I read Nightly News and Pax Romana, so, like, I'm pretty familiar with his... Yeah.
Both of those are really good, too. The art's not great, but...
Well, he did it in the infographics anyway. Yeah.
Anything
the other thing
comic books, everybody.
Yep, comic books. Come back and listen to us talk about 70 years of X-Men lore. That's been retconned every year.
Did I ever tell you guys the story? Like, because when I started reading, it was like when they were in Genosha, like the first time. And I go to my dad, I'm like, what does Gestapo mean? And he's like, it's Gestapo, you fucking idiot. I'm like,
that wrong.
Oh, fun. Your dad sounds fun.
Yeah, he's fun.
That rules.
Anyway.
The other thing I watched the Barbie movie.
Oh, how was that? I've been dying to see it.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everyone told me it's good. I haven't heard a bad thing about it.
It's really funny. It's really fucking like Greta Gerwig's a weird lady.
Yeah.
Big fan.
And it's really strange and very meta.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really funny. Like almost every joke lands. Margot Robbie's fantastic in it.
I heard that Baby Goose steals the show.
He's really everybody in it is really good at it. There's no bad performances.
Really
my buddy, she told me fucking Cockring Ken is in it, and I was like, okay, I'm sold.
I don't know what that.
Earring Magic Ken was like, there's a story. There's this Ken from the 90s that like he's wearing a cock ring.
He's in it.
Yeah, and it's legit cock ring because they sent some the toy developers out to nightclubs to see what was in fashion.
No way.
And they didn't. Yeah, and they didn't realize, or maybe they did and just snuck it past. But yeah, he's wearing a legit cock ring. He's wearing like a fishnet shirt and like a fucking silver vest. Like it's like incredibly queer.
Yeah, I remember when press started coming out for the movie and Michael Cera's in it, and I guess his character. Like, it was a real doll that came out, but, they only made him for, 2 years. He was supposed to be, Ken's buddy or something.
Yeah. Yeah. His name is Alan.
Yeah.
Alan.
And
I want to see it so bad.
Ken's friend, and, do you remember Midge?
No.
Midge was, one of Barbie's friends, and Ken was supposed to be her boyfriend.
No shit.
But then they made Midge pregnant, and they just...
Hey, you Midge. That's the only Midge I know.
I was just to say, Mo mispronouncing Marge is the only Midge that I know.
It's Baby Goose is really funny in it. Everybody's really funny in it. John Cena shows up in it for a second. As a male mermaid Barbie.
That's awesome.
Or mermaid Ken, I guess.
Alex, did you see, I guess there's like a trans Barbie in it or something, and Ben Shapiro was like, Barbie, there's supposed to be a woman with a deeper voice than mine, and then some lady is like, I'm just mocking him, it's the funniest shit, like, I think PJ said it to me.
Yeah, fucking Ben Shapiro needs to shut the fuck up. Like, I love Ben Shapiro, who's always championing fucking classic masculinity, and he's like this little twerp. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? By your own metrics, you don't, you know what I mean? Like,
no,
you're not classically masculine, dude. You better shut the fuck up. Like, what are you even talking about? Also,
he was wearing a fucking Canadian tuxedo and looked like a trans man, bad passing trans man.
This motherfucker hated Barbie so much, he's went on to talk about it for like 4.5 hours. Like, why do you care so much, dude? This is a movie. Like, the movie is clearly not for you. Leave it alone. Like, what a fucking loser.
Yeah. But I recommend it. I thought it was I thought it was absolutely tremendous.
I need to see that. I really want to see the new Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
I really want to see the Meg 2. That came out this week.
Directed by Ben Wheatley, of all people.
Why do I know that name?
Kill List and High Rise and
he didn't. Are you serious?
Fire. Yeah.
Free Fire's not great, but like it's fine. It's better. High Rise is good, and fucking Kill List is excellent.
A Field in England. I mean, Ben Wheatley's like a great director.
I still haven't seen that. Like that's like a dueling movie, right?
No, it's a weird psychedelic movie about like basically ruminations on war. It's great. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it.
Like a come and see kind of thing?
No, because it takes place during like the fucking like the Renaissance, or not the like the, I don't know, like
a horsey war.
Old England. Yeah, watch it. It's on Amazon, I think. Or maybe Shudder. I highly recommend it. I love it. It's great. It's also on the Plex. I don't know why.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
All right. So
we're going to talk about this piece of shit. Oh, Greta Gerwig can do better than Noah Baumbach, by the way. He sucks, and I hate him.
I have a huge crush on Greta Gerwig. Always have. So.
Oh, I thought you were going to defend Noah Baumbach.
No,
I was about to break up with you. Okay.
I hate Noah Baumbach movies, first of all. I kind of liked the last one he did, I didn't hate. Alec watched it too. The White Noise. I thought that was pretty good. But in general...
That's his whole career.
I hate his movies. Like, I find, like, Digging for Fire... Like, he co-wrote this Barbie movie, so I was worried his stink might be on it, but apparently not. But I'm a huge fan of his wife. Like, I like her movies, and...
Digging for Fire, I thought was Joe Swanberg.
I get him and Baumbach confused.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same person.
I did not like Marriage Story at all. I'm not a big fan of her. We are avoiding talking about Beverly Hills Cop 3, aren't we? Anything else? Did you watch any TV? Did you watch anything else? Anything at all?
You see any cool bugs?
Yeah.
I went back and played Spider-Man for about 20 minutes earlier today.
Hell yeah. There you go. Can't wait for that new one. Venom's going to be in it. Looks sick. Venom. All right, fine. We watched Beverly Hills Cop 3.
There's a great Penny Arcade comic, and that comic is very hit or miss, but there's one I always think of where it's just a guy squeezing the shit out of a rock. He's like, there ain't no blood coming from this. That's this movie. Like, what? Who is this for? Like, was Beverly Hills Cop 2 that big of a success? Like,
well, what was the gap between the two, right? This came out in the 90s.
Yeah, it can't be much. I bet Beverly Hills Cop 2 probably came out like 90 or 91.
They probably came out like 2 or 3 years apart.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop came out in like 87.
Yeah, it was written by Steven D'Souza, writer of Die Hard and director of Street Fighter, the movie, and directed by, Barry Levinson or something? Somebody.
Beverly Hills Cop 2 came out in 87.
Oh my God.
First one came out in 84.
And 3 came out in 94. So that's a pretty big gap. Right off the jump, did any of you guys feel like, I mean, it felt like this to me, that this felt like several, like, repurposed scripts. Like,
it's another one of those weird cold open movies where, like, it's just like, did I miss the first 2 minutes of this movie?
Yeah. All right. Do we want to give a synopsis at all? I mean, do we even?
I don't even really know what exactly the plot is besides like Axel's friend gets killed and then they have to get him back to California, right? Like that's the plot.
We were talking about how Attack of the Clones has just like it's a very basic story, but it has the most like confusing plot. This movie has like it's like there's so much shit in this movie, but like it's like an inch deep. But there's like it keeps like there's like a counterfeit ring underneath the fucking amusement park, and then the FBI's in on it, and then this. It's like what the fuck is going on? And like Axel Foley is like the worst cop I've ever seen. Well, in movie.
Oh, okay.
In like movie parlance.
Gotcha.
Like, he's fucking insane. Like, also, okay, all right, hold on. I gotta get some structure to this. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. Right. So I'll give you like the briefest synopsis I can. Axel Foley, he's breaking up this fucking chop shop in the beginning of the movie, and he refuses to get SWAT for some reason because he's convinced he doesn't need it. Then in the middle of
he was right until this other group showed up to that all had Uzis.
Also in a piece of only TJ would ever pick this fucking actor out of any kind of lineup. In the beginning of the movie in the chop shop, there's two fat guys that like start dancing. The one bald fat guy was in both Sin City movies, and he's also the Octopus's multiple henchmen in The Spirit. And I don't know why I remember that guy's face so much. The guy that commits seppuku in fucking...
I know exactly who you're talking about, because he's playing like the Tweedledee and Tweedledum and not the Shadow. You just said the name of the movie.
In Sin City, I think he's in both Sin Cities, and he's in The Spirit. Yeah, it's fucking terrible. But I don't know why I recognized him immediately. I was like, I know that guy. Anyway,
can you just when you upload this, can you just play Axel F under the entire thing, like the whole time we're talking?
We're gonna turn our podcast into the fucking Scott Farrell show. I hate that.
You guys want to talk about Axel Foley?
But he'd always like have like fucking music underneath the whole show, and it's like, and I remember
Mafia. That guy.
I remember he used to people used to call him bitch about it. He's like, it's like a bar. It's like, that's what it sounds like when you're in a bar. Like, why? No, like, I don't want to tune into that. Like, it's so fucking
also,
obnoxious.
like he's like betting on hockey like a real fucking degenerate. Like, who bets on hockey? Like,
oh God. He showed up on there's some like bootleg wrestling promotion I was watching a video about on YouTube, and he was like the announcer.
I saw the same video.
And he's like, and I'm like,
it wasn't wrestling. It was a bootleg MMA thing where they're fighting in a fucking bowl or something. It was a Napoleon blown apart video.
Yes. Yep, that's exactly right.
He also used to he had like a nationally syndicated show that they would run at night on the Fan.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, time to turn off the radio.
Yeah, he was on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. He was on, and he was exposed to me because he was on the Howard Stern satellite channel. That's how I started, like I first heard of him. But anyway.
That's right. He would be on there.
Yeah. But anyway, so Axel goes in to break up this chop shop, but before they could break it up, these like gun runners, I guess, come in and kill everybody, and then they shoot at the cops. They kill Axel Foley's like commander or chief. I don't know what he was. What did they say? Who he was? Like he's superior in some way.
It's probably a sergeant or something.
Yeah. Anyway, he kills this old man, and then Axel has to go out for revenge, and they trace the truck to fucking Wally World, which is like this fake like Disneyland kind of place out in California. So that's how they get Axel back to California. Then he hooks up with Judge Reinhold, and they couldn't get the other guy, possibly because he's dead. I don't know. I can't remember. They got Hector Elizondo. Yeah, Hector Elizondo, another guy who's talking about a guy with a good career. Like that guy's I love fucking movies.
Great.
only ever think of him in Necessary Roughness, and I don't know why, but like the minute I think of that guy, that's all I think of.
That's such a weird point of reference, that movie.
Yeah, he's the head coach in what the fuck is his name? Why can't I think of the assistant coach? Anyway, it'll come to me.
Yeah. So they get all their buddies together. Then Axel basically, like, then he does his detective work, which is just basically like he finds the guy that shot the partner and then like harasses him, and then that leads to all this other bullshit about like the founder of Wally World, like, is basically being duped by the guy that murdered him and John Saxon, who is like the mayor or something, and like, I don't know. It's so like contrived, like shit's just happening, and I'm like, I felt, we affectionately call this Alec mode, where I just immediately like dived into my phone.
Oh, I paid zero attention to this movie to the point that I missed George Lucas's cameo. I forgot that was in here.
Oh, I caught that. I was intently watching that. But like the movie just kind of goes, and also, what's his name? Balky. Balky is in the movie again.
They're like playing the hits of Beverly Hills Cop for all the Beverly Hills Cop super fans.
Can we talk about how, like, the biggest joke in this movie hinges on a machine gun that you can commercially buy, first of all. A machine gun that has, like, a radio and a microwave, and, like, I feel like this is a very boomer-centric joke. I feel like this is, I can't pull any specific examples, but I remember a very common trait of, like, jokes in the 80s was like, hey, look at this technology. It's got a TV and a radio and a VCR in it. Like, that was like the whole joke.
Look, is dildo and clock radio. Like, it's, you know, everything was a clock radio. They were like, oh my God, two things in the same thing? It was so novel.
Yeah. God, if we took like a Ninja air fryer back in the past, they'd have a fucking heart attack.
I wouldn't normally bitch about this, but this movie's not problematic enough for me for the era that it's supposed to be representing. Because, like, in the first one, is it the first one or the second one, where he comes in like lisping? He's like, "You need to tell him to go see the clinic before things start falling off the man." Like shit like that. Like,
I believe that's the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's bad, but like at least it's something. Like there's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something, and like This is like a movie that's like ostensibly an action comedy, but nor the action nor the comedy is compelling in any way. Like there's a lot of shootouts and stuff in this movie, but like it's boring.
You know, you're scraping the bottom of the basement. Jesus Christ, it's lightning in a pan.
Hey, that's a good one. The bottom of the basement. I think we got a new phrase.
Yeah, right. When it's like, oh, I don't know, just put it in an amusement park. It's like, oh fuck, we're not even trying anymore, fellas. Also, like, Uncle Dave has the rights to Battlestar Galactica, I guess, because like they just have straight up like old Steve Cylons in their alien assault ride.
Yeah,
that ride. Stacey told me this because she watched it with me. She's been on that ride, and that ride is called like Earthquake.
No shit.
It's a Universal Studios ride.
Oh really? Oh okay.
You're in like an earthquake, and they just threw Cylons in there.
No shit.
As the aliens.
That's fucking wild.
So I guess they shot this at a Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or whatever their theme park is, Universal.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, Axel just does his thing. Then, we're introduced to like, she was a security guard, I think, or something. Or no, she was some kind of tech person for the amusement park.
Yeah, she was like a ride operator or whatever. Wanda!
It's Wanda from Spawn. And I told Sean she was like the default hot black chick in like every 90s movie.
Yeah, she had her time, yeah.
Oh yeah, she was great. But also hilariously, like this movie has a little bit of like Adam Sandler syndrome because she meets him and immediately is just like doused. Like she wants to fuck.
To be fair, at least Eddie Murphy is fuckable. You know what I mean? Like
but it's like, it's hilarious because it's immediate and it's like, all right, like.
Well, he's Eddie Murphy.
I mean, yeah, but like, Jesus.
In the movie too.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Axel Foley's got to be like famous by now, right? Like, how is he still able to operate at all? Doesn't like everybody know who this guy is by now?
Well, nobody knows who he is. I mean, so much so that like he's like on the news, like he has that weird standoff with security and just starts firing his gun in the air.
You know what? You know what fucking kills me is like there's a scene later in the movie because fuck this plot, who cares? Where he's like he walks by some guys that are like cops or security guards in a hospital, and it's like Uncle Dave was shot by a black guy, and immediately go, hey, I know a black guy, and just start chasing him.
My God.
You're in fucking California. It's not like it's fucking Nome, Alaska.
That fucking scene was wild because they acted like there's no black people in California. Like, I was like, what is this? And like, they literally, like, there was 2 cops at the hospital, and all the radio said was a black man in their 30s, and they literally start chasing him down. Now, sadly, that's probably pretty accurate.
Right.
But, again, in the parlance of film, pretty awful. Like, I don't know. Then we didn't even mention, like, the FBI is involved the whole time, and they tell Axel to back off, and then he does it.
It's just fucking pointless. Like, I don't get it. Like, like, what? I don't know. Like, it just kind of meanders everywhere, and it's like, like you said, it's like all this fucking goofy ass, like, it's this underneath a theme park, and then we're counterfeiting, and then we're also, I don't know, are we drug dealers? And then I have a crime empire, and I'm trying to take over Disney World, or like, what the fuck is even going on? Also, who cares? Because I'm not like invested in Axel Foley as a character, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like, and like, kind of like Toothless Eddie Murphy is not great. You know what I mean? Like, I want 48 Hours Eddie Murphy, or the Dolomite movie Eddie Murphy, or Coming to America Eddie Murphy. I don't want this kind of milquetoast, like, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. What was this rated? Was this PG-13? No, this is R-rated. That's crazy.
Is it?
Yeah, this thing's fuck a whole lot.
Okay.
But it's still like, Sean's right, it's still very fucking just soft. Like, I don't know. There's no edge to it at all. And maybe I would feel the same. I haven't watched the first one in ages, so maybe I'd feel the same way about the first one. But like, there's just nothing to this movie. Like Alec, would you say that the crime solving was your favorite aspect of the film?
The forensic science.
My favorite, my favorite part of the movie was probably the way the extras reacted to everything.
That was pretty great.
Because like nobody's everybody's seen everything. Everybody's nonplussed by everything.
Yeah,
this man climbs out of a thing on they call it a spider ride, but it's like a tilt-a-whirl type thing. Saves a couple of kids. Everybody is just sitting there watching him hushed.
Yeah.
No screaming, no yelling, just dead silence except for the Beverly Hills Cop music playing.
Which is deafening.
Yeah.
Do you think it's diegetic? Do you think it just follows him around everywhere and that's why everybody's all fucked up?
Maybe it's just like the sun plays it in that world. Like it's just constantly playing every place.
Oh my God, Alec, what a horrifying concept. I
was just,
the sun plays music.
They've said that like a lot of deaf people, when they've been able to like hear them and get their hearing, a lot of them are surprised that the sun doesn't make noise.
Really?
Weird.
That's very weird.
They're surprised that they don't hear actual F nonstop. Like they're just like.
Speaking of just total non-plusness, there's a scene in this movie where they legit try to assassinate Axel Foley like in broad daylight, like in the middle of the park, and they like miss him, and it's like, what? Well, if you shot him, there's like literally like hundreds of people around him, like nobody.
Well, this is like Colors Ramparts era LA, so they're probably ain't a big deal.
Fucking wild.
He takes Uncle Dave to the hospital, gets him in there.
Yeah.
Asks 2 cops for the coffee machine.
The
cops see on the TV that Uncle Dave was shot by a black guy, and they're like, "Oh!" And they go to chase him immediately.
A black guy in his 30s. Yeah, and and then that scene continues on to where he walks around Beverly Hills, presumably, and there is not nigh a black guy to be found, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I've never been to Beverly Hills, but I assume there's black people there. I don't know. Maybe not.
You know, Jackie Stallone bought one of these guns. Like, it's oh my God, why won't this joke end?
And, like, what even is the joke? Like, it's so bad. And, like, also, so, like, he went from being, I think he was like a clothes vendor, like he was an art
dealer.
Art dealer. He went from art dealing to gun dealing.
Well, I will guarantee you that whole scene is ad-libbed with the jacket. Like, it feels like a fucking, what do you call it? Like a Judd Apatow prototype where it's just like, I just riffed for 10 minutes about this gun. You know, he's a floor model, he's all slimy and like, we got to bring that back, and it's just like,
Also, the gun is just fucking stupid, and then, like, not only the extras nonplussed, but, like, the, like, kind of featured extras are nonplussed, because there's a scene where he murders somebody with that machine gun, and there's two guys, and the guy, like, the other guy, so the other guy watches the guy get killed by the machine gun, but he doesn't even advance, he just kind of still walks at him at a normal pace, and doesn't seem really that bothered by the fact that this machine gun actually works. Again, like, I think it because this joke is so hilarious, it fucking starts playing some goddamn song or something, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ.
Start playing the Beverly Hills Cop song.
That would have been much funnier.
Are the Lions gonna sue Uncle Dave for having that Lions jacket on Axel Fox at the end, or no?
Yeah. Well, he looked like the Carfax Fox. But yeah, I don't know, man. This movie fucking sucks.
Guess what?
What?
They're making another one.
Are you fucking serious?
It's a Netflix original in post-production right now.
Oh, God. No, thank you.
Have him, basically the whole gang is back together, plus Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Kevin Bacon.
No, thank you. I'm good.
They let Joseph Gordon-Levitt out of his fucking hipster tomb.
Unless it's, like, directed by, like, Nicholas Winding Refn or something.
Oh, that would be something.
This movie is just, I don't even know.
Eddie Murphy is Valhalla Cop.
Well, I don't know what other, like, Eddie Murphy movies we're gonna watch, but this definitely, like, reminded me of, like, oh yeah, there was a period where Eddie Murphy
is the beginning of the end.
Mm-hmm, this is his down period for sure.
Does anybody have anything to say about this movie?
You mean, like, other than us?
I mean, just other than what we've already said, like, I'm struggling to think of something to say about this.
From what I was reading about it, like, John Landis knew the script was terrible, but he was hoping that Eddie would be able to punch it up. Eddie's Eddie. But then Eddie came in, like, super depressed, like, while filming, like, whatever he had going on, like, at home or because of his career or whatever was happening at that point. He was, like, super depressed and gave, like, no effort.
Well, you could
really, everything came together to make a horrific shit bomb. But the movie made...
I was going to say, it was a big hit.
Yeah, it was, I think, filmed for...
I'm looking at it right now. $50 million budget.
$50 million for this?
$50 million budget.
Holy shit.
119 box office. Oof. Worldwide.
I did read.
Or no, U.S.
His check, Eddie's check was $15 million.
Oh my God. Night.
Jesus. So that's a budget outside of Eddie of $35 million.
Yeah.
The below the line budget, pretty low.
I don't know if you guys...
This may be the first or second worst thing John Landis ever did.
Is that a joke?
Yeah. Well, maybe lower if you count Max, but you know what I was referring to.
Max is actually worse than killing those people, to be honest. Do you guys ever, like, Google movies? Because there's this thing that they do now that cracks me up where they have, like, why to watch, and they have, like, little buzzwords about the movie. So the buzzwords for this are thrilling, humorous, and spirited. What the fuck?
That's what you say about, like, the kid Artie from another teen movie.
Spirited.
The kid's ripped in half.
What the fuck does that mean?
So you feel bad past a mentally impaired boy got ripped in half.
Yeah, this movie.
He's snapping the towels in the locker room with the boys too. Relax, you like that. A little too much.
What a great movie. That movie's fucking awesome.
Beverly Hills Cop 3 was critically was criticized.
It's got 11%
holds an 11% in RT. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that's about all we got on Beverly Hills Cop 3. It's a 5 knuckle shuffle time. Look at that, coming in right in an hour. Beautiful. Alec.
3 for being the third best Beverly Hills Cop movie so far. I also can't even say that, but I'm going to assume because I can't remember the first 2. I'm going to assume it's the third best of the 3. Like, it's not funny, but it's not even like, it's just blah.
Yeah.
It's like original oatmeal with nothing in it. It's just blah.
Yeah.
Give me some, even brown sugar and cinnamon, which is my least favorite Pop-Tart flavor. But at least
I love that flavor.
TJ, you're a fucking lunatic. That's the worst Pop-Tart. Like,
what?
By far.
No way. Yeah. Oh, no way. Unfrosted strawberry is the worst Pop. Unfrosted any Pop-Tart.
Well, first of all, like, only sociopaths get unfrosted Pop-Tarts.
Okay,
but, like,
they exist, so they count.
Fine. Well, that's like saying the worst sex is sex with children. I mean, that technically happens, but we're not referring to it. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Is it not the worst?
I mean, yeah. But I mean, come on. Jesus. All right. Anyway,
it's so just it's nothing. It's water.
Yeah.
It's blah. There's nothing to it.
It's less than water.
That famed Bret Easton Ellis novel.
Literally a cash grab.
Aquaman story.
Good for Eddie Murphy getting this 15 mil off of it.
15 mil, man. That's
getting the bag, as the kids say.
Yeah.
15 mil in 94.
15 mil to invest in his music career, which is hilarious, by the way.
Oh, Party All the Time is a million times better than this movie.
Oh, no. Go deeper, buddy. Look up a song called What's Up With You that he has. It's him featuring Michael Jackson. It's so fucking bad.
Oh, it's probably better than this.
And then he also went through like a reggae phase where he was like, it's incredible. There's a Todd in the Shadows video about it. It's quite fun.
Oh, okay.
Anything else, Al?
No. TJ.
Honestly, like a 1. Like I was so fucking bored with this movie like the whole time. And like, I don't know, anytime I'm responsible for like a big stinker, I feel really bad. So that also factors into my score, but it's like a 1 for me, dog. This movie is terrible and unmemorable and not funny and just like, there's not like, even in shitty movies, I'm like, well, I like this part or I like that, but there's nothing I like about this movie at all.
Well, there's just nothing to talk about. Like, at least Attack of the Clones and The Flash, like, we can bitch about something. Like, I'm just like,
yeah. I mean, I guess in a weird way it should be a 5, but it's not.
That's what I'm giving it.
I mean, maybe it should be a 5 because it's just so, like, just there. I'm going to stick with mine, though. It's a 1. It's really bad. I hated it, and it sucked. Oh, Sean.
It's a 5. It's the fucking Flanders nacho paradox. Like, it's just so nothing. I understand, like, fiscally why they did it, but, like, Landis obviously wasn't into it. Murphy wasn't into it. Like, who saw this movie more than once in the theater? You know what I mean? For it to make that much money in 1994, like, people are seeing this multiple times. Which is fucking insane.
That is fucking crazy.
And, it's not like, we kind of touched on it. It's not like it's The Room or something where it's like, oh, you got to come with me and watch fucking Beverly Hills Cop 3. It's such a fucking mess.
Yeah, I guess, like, Eddie Murphy's celebrity, like, carried the box office, obviously. I mean, even back then.
Yeah, it's just, I just have nothing to say about it. It's like I've already forgotten most of the plot, other than the fact that there's a guy named Uncle Dave, which is fucking hysterical. But Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, I want.
And like, what is Judge Reinhold's plot that he's starting like the precog fucking division? I forget what that was about. Like, he had that map of jurisdiction or whatever the fuck. Like,
Yeah,
I don't.
His whole character was just like, I don't even understand like what he. And then like he's probably dead at the end of the movie, and they're like, hey, he
Hopefully.
needs medical help. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know, man. This movie fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
But that's it. 5.
Yep, 5. All right, who's next week?
Well, I might be out, so you guys can, I'll wait till I get back to pick.
Oh.
All right.
I guess it's Alex.
Out.
Damn.
There you go.
Shit. I don't know.
Beverly
Just fast forward. I'm gonna say my pick for January when Beverly Hills Cop 4 comes out. Man, I guess. Life.
Life.
Oh,
okay.
Hell yeah.
That's a good movie. All right.
We've had a bad run here for the past.
Yeah, we can take a good movie. I haven't seen that movie in years. Maybe I won't like it anymore. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, that movie was great.
I've seen it recently. It holds up for me, at least.
That's the movie with the white people pie scene.
Yeah.
That movie's great. All right, cool. Life next week with starring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Waiting for our Black Knight.
Yeah,
waiting for our Black Knight episode. We have to do that at some point. That fucking movie. All right, everybody.
This is tight. Yeah, that movie.
Yeah, the movie that is that the director said is based off that fucking Ernest Hemingway.
No, it's based off a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that Hemingway? Yeah.
No, that's Samuel Clemens.
Oh, sorry. Same difference.
Yeah.
Same guy, right?
Yeah.
Good old Sammy Clem.
Yup. That's what they call him. Good old Sammy Clem. Star of Star Trek The Next Generation, that one episode.
Yeah. Who could forget? All right, everybody. That's the show.
Bye-bye.
Go read some X-Men comics. Bye-bye.
Bye. Later, boys.
Bye, guys.
See ya, dude.
Bye, guys.